Here at the 2017 Silver and Gold Summit, I'm joined by Brad Cook, the CEO of Endeavour Silver. Brad, how you doing?
I'm good, Chris.
Could you briefly touch on what's going on with your current operations, Bolañitos, Guanaceví, El Cubo?
So just as a reminder, Endeavour Silver has 3 high-grade underground silver gold mines in Mexico. This year, 2017, we have 2 mines that are on track to meet or beat their production and cost guidance, but we did have 1 mine, Guanaceví, which was misbehaving for the first half of the year due to really some unrelated curveballs that Mother Nature threw at us. We did get through those operating issues by the end of July, and the mine is now bouncing back. So yeah, notwithstanding some operating problems at Guanaceví, we've had a good year so far. We reported $1 million of earnings in the third quarter, $7 million for the first 9 months of the year. Not bad for a tough year. And with Guanaceví returning to good health over the next 3 quarters, we obviously expect to be making a lot more money going forward.
Excellent. So, as our readership knows, Endeavour Silver, it probably has the deepest growth pipeline in the near and medium term, primarily with Terronera, El Campos, and Parral. Can you maybe give us updates on each of those?
Absolutely. We've been making a lot of news actually this year for our organic growth profile, which I do believe is the best in the sector. More than 50% growth over the next 3 years as we build 3 new mines. First up is mine number 4, El Campos. El Campos is located in the famous district of Zacatecas, 3rd largest silver district in Mexico. We control the south end of the district. 2 fully drilled out and permitted ore bodies called El Campos and El Rito. That mining operation got underway in August with the development of the new mine at El Campos. We also leased on a 10-year lease an existing plant. That plant is currently being refurbished, and we expect to start up the plant in March of next year. So barely 4 months from now, we'll be starting up mine number 4. And while it's initially going to be a small but very high-grade mine, it'll be instantly accretive to our cash flow. One of the other interesting angles on El Campos is that it's a scalable mine in that the plant capacity is 2 times larger than the mine plan. And the only thing holding us back is more reserves. So look for drilling news this year, actually, as we continue to explore for and hopefully discover a second ore body and ultimately a second mine to fill that plant. So that's El Campos, mine number 4. Mine number 5, Terronera, is probably the jewel in our pipeline. It's a project that we acquired for $2.5 million. It was a dormant historic district, and we made a major new discovery. Currently 60 million ounces of total resources, silver equivalent resources, in 1 ore body, and just announced actually this year the discovery of a second and much higher grade ore body. So Terronera has the potential now to go into construction next year, to be in production by late 2019, to be our largest producer at 5 million ounces a year for 10 years, and to be one of our lowest cost producers with the pre-feasibility study already published showing all-in sustaining costs of operations at less than $5 an ounce. So Terronera is actually single-handedly going to take us to 15 million ounces of silver equivalent production and to take our all-in costs of operations below $10 per ounce. It's that good a project.
Excellent. And recently there have been drill results on Parral. Can you just comment on your thoughts on those?
Yeah, so Parral we bought barely a year ago for $6 million in stock. It's still really an advanced exploration play, but for many years, up until 1990, the Parral project was a silver mine producing 4 million ounces a year. Grupo Mexico was the owner. They then closed it and sold it to Silver Standard, who sat on it for many years. We purchased it a year ago and are treating it as an exploration play because we see several areas where we can find new resources. So for instance, last week we announced the initial drilling in an area called Palmilla. Palmilla was in the late 1800s the source of silver to the Mexican mint. So all those beautiful Mexican silver peso rounds from the late 1800s, they came from our property in Parral. The evidence of our news release last week was that the Palmilla area has a substantial potential open pit area of mineralization. So it becomes a second area of mineralization on the property to the first one. The old mine used to be called Veta Colorada. Now we've got some strong mineralization in Palmilla, and we're currently drilling in San Patricio, and that's a third area on the property. Look for drill news on that this year.
Excellent. So you mine silver and gold. So if I can just get your outlook on the metals, because amongst primary silver miners, I mean, $2 and $3 can make a big difference in terms of your profitability.
Absolutely. So in general, the fundamentals for silver are not only easier to understand compared to gold, they're a lot more compelling in my view. Most of the bullion research firms have forecasted that 2016 was actually the high for silver supply, and that 2017 and for several years going forward, these firms are forecasting declining supply of silver. The reason is very simple. Silver, amongst all the metals, is primarily a byproduct of copper mines, byproduct of lead and zinc mines, gold mines. And because of that, given the 5-year bear market for commodities that we just came through, there really are no new copper mines or lead zinc mines. And therefore, there's no new byproduct supply of silver coming on stream. There's going to be a 5-year gap in byproduct supply, and byproduct supply is over half of total supply. So I think it's clear that the supply side of the fundamental equation is in our favor for several years now. You flip over to the demand side, and you know, when I started this business, there was a disruptive technology. The advent of silver nanotechnology for electronic circuitry drove the explosion of cell phones and laptops and big screen TVs. It was the main industrial demand driver from 2000 to 2009 when, interestingly enough, solar photovoltaic cells took over. They finally became economic. They had been subsidized before that. And since 2009, photovoltaics have been the biggest growing demand factor for silver. There is a third disruptive technology that is staring us in the face. Most people don't think about silver when they think about the electric car.
Exactly.
And it's not that silver goes into the battery, but every other circuit uses silver. So almost 60 million ounces last year went into conventional cars for electronic circuitry. The multiplier effect for electronic cars is up to 2 times that. So this is a potential new disruptive demand driver for silver. And now we're setting up for a perfect storm with falling supply and rising demand for several years. We won't have to wait very long to see a higher price of silver. And the evidence of that was at the Silver Institute dinner in New York City last week. The guest speaker was the analyst for GFMS Mineral Services, who do forecasting for bullion flows. They gave us their outlook for silver, and they're calling for an average price next year of $18.80, which implies a run to $20 silver next year.
Excellent. Well, it was a great update. Glad you could join us.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Hello, I'm David Morgan, publisher of the Morgan Report, and as some of you may already know, the Morgan Report is about money, metals, and mining. In fact, we cover all resources from rare earth elements to precious metals. I've been publishing on the internet for about 20 years. My primary passion is to help people build and preserve their wealth. I love to make people millionaires. I've helped thousands of people via our research in the Morgan Report, which has thousands of paid members and 10 times that amount on our free weekly updates. Here's what you'll receive from our free newsletter: to-the-point webinars, weekly analysis of the financial markets, interviews and our conference schedule, special reports such as riches and resources, and various metals price forecasts. Our paid service client base is primarily small to medium-sized business owners, professionals in the industry, or the seasoned investor who understands markets and the value of precious metals. My area of expertise includes equity analysis throughout the resource sector, energy metals, base metals. We cover startups to billion-dollar corporations. We focus on a special sector that makes money regardless of price oscillations, and the importance of precious metals due to the ongoing currency devaluations. Our team of 3 analysts and support staff can help you build and protect your wealth. It's important for you to know what other people have said. We're passionate about what we do. High integrity and trust. Tell the truth and own it. If we're wrong, we admit it. Take a long-term outlook with major assets and bet a little to win a lot with speculative situations. If you choose to become a client, you will gain financial insights very few, even professionals, recognize. You'll understand the importance of honesty in our financial system. You'll understand how the money system influences almost everything in your life. You'll be prepared for the ongoing currency crisis. And finally, I've chosen to make my life's mission greater than the individual, which means my mission statement is to teach and empower people to understand the benefits of an honest monetary and financial system. It's been a great journey so far, and the best gains in this sector lie ahead over the next 3 to 5 years. I'm fortunate to have earned the status of being a leading authority in my field in helping others protect their wealth. You can email me at support@themorganreport.com or call my office at 480-325-0230.